This excerpt from the public television program, The Piano Guy, is brought to you by the Roland Corporation. Okay. Now in this segment, I want to work on a Horace Silver tune called Song for My Father. This is gotten to be a real jazz standard. It's gotten to be a tune that you hear a lot of people play. I think it might be in the real book, which always kind of gives it some legitimacy as far as being played a lot, because so many people play out of that book. But it's a fun tune to play on a piano because there's a real identifiable riff, and it's a Latin thing. It's not particularly hard. But it's a fun, interesting, harmonically interesting tune that's not too tough. So what we're going to do in this segment, instead of work on all the specific things that someone may do to play it, we're going to take 3 or 4 steps backwards and really focus on just learning the structure of the tune and the exact melody line and the chord changes, so that then we'll have a good foundation on which to build, and then we can start adding some stylistic things to kind of make it sound more authentic. So having said that, let's dig right into the lead sheet like we always do, so we can really just very simply separate things into the 2 halves, melody line or chord changes. So here we go. The melody line to this tune sounds like this. All right, I'll do that again. It usually happens a little faster. It goes. All right, moves on. On and on, but that's really the tough part. So let's dig through that for a second. It starts out like this. Now here's what happens. There's these 3 things where, it's basically going, but instead of moving right there, he does this, like sometimes I talk about the slide or I talk about a run up. This is kind of a run down, but it's 4 notes. He goes. So it's really just, imagine, there's a good example. Imagine just, sitting in your car being frustrated, waiting for the light to change, and your hands are on the steering wheel and you're going, oh, hurry up, I'm late, right? It's that kind of a thing where you're just kind of, strumming your fingers. And if you go, and I don't really care what fingers you use. Some people would probably want to do it with a pinky or this one. I don't know, figure out what works best for you. But in every case, you're just going to have to knuckle under here for a few minutes and just figure out what the easiest way for you to do that is. And I think if you just think about, it's really this. But we're doing something like that. And you know what? It doesn't have to be the cleanest thing in the world. Hey, I play sloppy all the time. All right, here we go. Okay, now it stays there. Now moving on. It's real simple from here out. Okay? And it repeats that. Now the bridge is very simple. You can ignore my left hand now. Just thinking about the melody. And then it goes back to the top. All right, so you're just going to need to get that one figured out. That's really one of the more challenging rhythmic things we've talked about in a long time on the show, and the good news is it's only 2 measures long, so you can get it figured out. Now, the chord changes in this tune are really very simple to get underhand. It's just an F minor 7 chord, okay? It just stays there for through that whole melodic thing, so it's... Then it goes to an E flat 7 chord, so it just goes down 1 whole step. Then another whole step, D flat 7, and then what's called a C7 sus. Let me give that one to you. That one might fake you out. It's C, E, G, and B flat. That's a regular old C7, but to make it a sus chord, you take that middle note, the 3rd there, and you move it up a half step. So it's C, F, G, and B flat. Okay, so again it goes E flat, B flat, C sus. Does that. Now, one really easy way, I can just give this away, and it's the way you hear this tune played quite a lot, and I know I said I wasn't going to focus on the arrangement, but I'll give you this one little tip. For that F minor 7 chord, instead of just holding on it the whole time, now that you know that's what the chord is, a quick way to be able to play that is to just do this. Sounds like this. something like that. It sounds the same type of thing. Just an F and a C. I'm playing those two notes. If you just do that and nothing else while you're on the F, and then you can go ahead and do that, you know, all the way through all the chords. That's really the way you hear this recorded quite a bit. So it goes. Now instead of playing that whole E flat 7 chord, I'm just playing. I'm basically just playing the roots and the 5th, I guess. There's an E flat, I'm playing an E flat and a B flat. Back to that F. However else you want to get through it. So again, harmonically, this is not a really tough tune at all, and it really lays nicely. Actually, you know, it basically just goes from the F minor, E flat, to D flat, to C sus, back up to that F minor. It just does that kind of thing 2 or 3 times in the tune. So, you know, what I want you to focus on as we go through these basic things like this is really just taking advantage and taking some time out to realize I'm not trying to play this as a finished performance. I'm not trying to get this completely nailed down and polished beautifully. What I am trying to do is really understand internally how that melody line lays across the different chord changes, all right, and how to go through it. Again, I gave you one quick tip to get through, just because you'll hear it this way every time. If you go listen to some recordings, you'll always hear it sounding like that. But really what you need to think about is where am I in that chord progression and where am I with the melody line relating to it. So take some time, get those basic things figured out, and boy, if you do it that way, I promise you, you are going to have a great foundation to work from when you want to take it to the next level and start really polishing things and sounding more professional. So have fun with Song for My Father. It's a great tune. Enjoy yourself. This excerpt from the public television program, The Piano Guy, has been brought to you by the Roland Corporation, international manufacturer of the finest keyboards, organs, and digital pianos. To find out more, log on to RolandUS.com.